It all started with a bottle cap. Well, no, not exactly with the bottle cap. Maybe it started before. Forgive me, years of forgetting and misremembering does that sometimes. You know what? It does start with a bottle cap. A single bottle cap, made in my living room 3 apartments ago. That's where I started, truly. If we're finding the real starting point before that, the factors that built to this, then we'll be here a lot longer than I'd like to be. So let's start with the bottle cap. Crafting. Feeling glue stick to my fingers. Watching a movie in the background. One with fast cars and sand and chrome spray paint. It took me 2 hours to make that cap. Suddenly aware of the effort that went into the one I had bought. No wonder the vendor had been charging $1 for it. But that didn't stop me. Suddenly I was collecting more from the bar I worked at, bringing glue and labels and whatever else I needed in little crafting kits that fit in a mint tin. Making them for friends, making them for special events, making them just because I found joy in them. Years later, after having my own version of a nuke dropped on my world, I thought about that cap. I still have it, stuck to a piece of wood on a string with the date I made it and the phrase, "One for the road." And oh boy, has that road been tough. But I have that cap still. In fact, now I have so many more, made differently, with my own designs or designs friends have made. I even have boxes of regular caps that I could craft with, just waiting to be covered in paper and glue. But I don't just have the caps. Remember, it started with the bottle cap. It's so much more than what me in that living room 3 apartments ago could have imagined. I have friends around the world. I have stories to tell over the static. I make more than bottle caps now. I made a world that my friends and I can play in and build like Legos. Filled with so many stories and adventures, a post-apocalyptic escape, where the currency is bottle caps and pop tabs and tales told on the radio. And while I could spin a tale longer than I feel like telling right now, on all the other things that brought me here, like a love of acting, a joy of audio editing, so many small inspirations from what I watched growing up, hearing stories told to me that taught me how to tell them. I think this story starts best exactly how I did it. It all started with a bottle cap, the first of so many, one single, rusted-looking cap, to take me down a road I couldn't have imagined. I've spent so long wandering out in the wastes, collecting caps and tabs and scars, but better than all of those, I've collected stories. Stories from friends, from enemies, from the dust that consumes everything. I've made stories of my own, of course. When you wander as long as I have, there's bound to be a few. But unlike the stories I tell on a microphone or on a walkie-talkie, screaming into the static and the radiation, I wear mine. I carry them in my pack. I carry them in a little tin in my pocket filled with bottle caps and pop tabs. The time I took a fall while running and busted my wrist left a scar that I can tell a tale about. Or the small badges that line my vest, showing where I've been and who I've seen. Or better yet, the laugh lines around my cheeks and eyes. They all tell so many stories. They talk about late nights by a fire, laughing into the sunset. About sharing drinks in a dimly lit outpost. Sharing in the adventures we've had. Hell, they even tell you about the horrors that have happened that I've borne witness to. All of those things are stories worth telling, whether they were before the fall, during, or after, although I have plenty to tell that happened after. That's why I love wandering this vast land we call the wastes. The stories we can all tell, one day will fill new books with them, I'm sure of it. Want me to tell you one of mine? How should I start? With Once Upon a Time? Or do you want me to pluck something from my tin? Oh yeah, let's do that. So this cap I've got, it all started with a cap, did you know that? Well, that's a different story. This one is about something much more fun. One day, I was wandering around in the wastes.